We made it, guys. Here we are live. Hello, everybody in the chat. And yeah, I think you're going to really enjoy this. This is finally we get Frank Chille to join us with some of his amazing stories from his career as a UFO and contactee archivist. So maybe many of you here aren't familiar with Frank and Frank's work, but I'm going to have everyone go on to potentials. So Linda is here. This is like, we're doing this like old times. This is so old school. This is where it all started, because we have a lot of new people that aren't familiar with the way we jam. And Linda with potentials with Legia on YouTube. I'll put the link in the description later once we're done filming. That is where you'll find a lot of Frank Chille's work that we did, God, over the past 2 years.
Yeah, almost 3.
I think so.
Yeah.
Almost 3. Wow.
Yeah, I think it's been, yeah. So we'll put that in there, and you can see some of the really cool stuff that we've done in the past before, we moved on to this sort of format. But yeah, you're going to get a taste of the old way of doing things. But I want to just ask Frank, for people who are new here, how would you describe your work and your career as, of course, a contactee yourself, and also an archivist for other contactees?
I would say I'm a seeker of truth and a researcher into greater aspects of who we are and what it is that we're about and what it is we're part of.
Yeah. And you are, of course, familiar with Venus. That is one of your favorite hotspots.
It is one, yes. We're all travelers. You know that, Andrew. We're all travelers.
Traveler, and you're Saturn and all that. But of course, all your wonderful brothers and sisters upstairs, like Val and Semyasi. And of course, brother Rob Potter, who is now back upstairs.
Yes. Wonderful experiences along the way. Wonderful experiences, and they're experiences that are timeless, and they're always a joy to share with open-minded and receptive individuals.
Indeed, and you've been, I can't even begin to, from California to New Jersey and Pennsylvania and other places you probably want to name. You've been involved.
I lived in Europe for 4.5 years.
Europe?
I traveled to Brazil. I've done a lot of traveling.
Yeah. Mount Shasta.
Yes, many times, and drove cross country 4 times.
Yeah. So I tell folks just to kind of Google Frank Chille on YouTube, and you'll see some great interviews he's done with, God, not only MUFON, but who else have you been with? Gosh,
I've done so many with so many different individuals that I've done conferences with, and I've done quite a few programs with Jeff Rentz, and a lot of the information with Bill Tompkins when he did like 54.5 hours on Jeff Rentz's program. Absolutely unbelievable chapters of his life that are still astounding, and they're still being validated.
Yeah, amazing. Well, you've met people. You've met like Albert Coe, one of the first contactees.
That was the first contactee I ever met. But the fellow we're going to talk about tonight, if you could put up that first image, I want to share with people. When I came across this was part 3 of a trilogy that put me on the path that I am now. The first item that brought me into this closer network was I was driving along a major thoroughfare on Route 130, and I was drawn to go into a bookstore I'd never been into, in a shopping center I'd never been into. And I started walking up and down the aisles of books, and I stopped in front of the metaphysical book section, and one of the books started vibrating towards me like it wanted me to pick it up. And it was Howard Menger's From Outer Space. Yeah. So I read that book. It's the first time I had read it, and it astounded me, and it opened up a lot of information to me regarding Valiant Thor, the photographs of him visiting Howard Menger's house, the first photographs that were ever released about Val Thor, and a lot of information about our friends. And then a couple weeks after that, there was a second aspect where one of the things that Val said, I believe Val said in From Outer Space, is learn some of the information about Dianetics. And I got a flyer in the mail from the local college, and I enrolled in a 14-week course, and this fellow had gone through Dianetics in London with Gene Roddenberry. And he asked each one of us why we were taking a course in Dianetics. And people were saying they were just curious about it. When he got to me, I said to him, I had been advised to take this by a space visitor. And he gave me the strangest look, Andrea and Linda. And it was, and he just gave me like a knowing look. And after the 14 weeks, he said, do you want to pursue further with this? And I said, no, I got everything I needed out of it. I could see past lives. I could see traveling to other planets. I could see ancient histories on Earth. And then the third aspect was I was drawn back into this bookstore once again, and I'm going up and down the aisles of books, and there's nothing there. So I'm ready to walk out, and I pass the cash register, and I see a little holder with postcards, and this postcard was in there. And I picked it up. I was amazed by it. I've never seen a color photograph that clear of a saucer. I flipped it over, and it said this is one of a series of 30 photographs taken by Paul Villa outside Albuquerque, New Mexico in 1963. And to learn other uncensored truths about UFOs, contact Del Val UFO. Well, I found the address of Del Val UFO. It was a UFO club that met not too far from where I lived. And I knocked on the door of the president of the company, or president of the organization. His name was Michael Campione. And I said, I want to join your organization. I want to learn more information. And that's what opened the door for me, meeting some of these contactees and extraordinary people that set my foot on the path that I'm still on today. So this photograph was a trigger to get me really involved with talking and meeting contactees. And Paul Villa, if you can go on to the next photograph.
Yes, I'm gonna wrap that up. All right, remove. It's a little tricky with this, but we'll get.
Take your time.
We're doing the best with StreamYard, so I don't know if it's better than YouTube, but we'll see. It comes when it comes. There it is. So I'm gonna load. You know, you see all these people who do everything so well, and then that's one thing we're known for is putzing. There it is. Okay.
Okay. His name is Apolinar Villa, and he went by the name of Paul. And he was taught at the age of 5 how to use telepathy. And when he became an adult, he got a job working in Los Angeles for the Water and Power Company. And he would do monitoring of water systems and power lines. And this one day at lunchtime, this was in 1953, he was kind of guided to go over by the ocean, not too far from where he was working. And he said he was sitting on a rock by the beach looking out over the ocean. And he said this man appeared. He walked from behind the outcropping of rocks, and he was about 7 feet tall. And he told him that they had been monitoring him and watching him for a while. And the fellow introduced himself to him, but his name has been lost to history. I don't know what the fellow's name was, but he said he didn't look like any Earth being. His features were perfect. It looked like he had been chiseled out of marble. And he was wearing a one-piece suit. And he said to Paul, Paul, look out over the horizon, over the reef. Tell me what you see. And Paul looked out over the reef, and he saw a silver disc. It looked like two saucers, one on top of the other, above the water. So he said, would you like to come on board with me? And Paul said, yes. So the star visitor took him by the hand, and they floated from the beach right to the ship. He was taken inside the ship, and there were 4 other crew members in there. There were 3 men and 1 woman. And he said they all looked like perfect humans, no flaws whatsoever. Their hair was either golden color, blonde, or red. And he said the red was more like a copper color and black. So they kept him on board the craft for about 90 minutes, and they talked to him. And then they took him back to the beach, and he continued. And he didn't have any further contact until 1963. In 1963, he moved from Los Angeles to outside of Albuquerque, New Mexico. And he got a mental thought that he needed to drive kind of away from where he was living. He was living in a trailer home outside of Albuquerque, probably maybe about 30 miles outside of Albuquerque. And he went to an area, and he was doing work at that time where he was taking photographs of bridge repairs and riverbeds that may need work or servicing. So he always had a Polaroid camera with him, or a Japanese camera as well. So if you want to go on to the first photograph, that's similar to the flying saucers were real.
There it is. Remove this one, and then we'll. I'm starting to get the hang of this. Have to press like 10 buttons to get the. There it is. Okay.
temporary inconvenience, permanent improvement.
Exactly. There it is. Add to stage. Ta-da!
Okay. So he pulled off to the side of the road, and he said the next thing he noticed was he noticed a ship that was probably maybe about 200 feet in diameter, and it had all these openings around the side. And he said the bottom of the craft, you can't see it in some of these photos, but in some of the close-ups, it's a little bit more apparent. The bottom of the craft would go from like an amber color to an orange color to like a silver color. And he said during the experience when he was there at the top of the craft, there would be these spheres that would come out, and some of them would disappear behind the tree and some of them would be high above the ship. So he started taking these photographs, and the ship again is about 200 feet in diameter. And he said it was maybe about 200 to 300 feet off the ground. Go on to the next one, Andrea.
Oh.
It should be with the craft on its side.
Yep. Let's see. There. I think this is the right one. Looks something like an orb. Oops, there it is. All right. This one.
That's it. Yes.
The
The
one.
craft turned on its side and showed him that it could maneuver where the people inside of it still were not affected by gravity, where the gravity is basically part of the ship. It generates its own gravity field. So they showed him that they could turn it on an angle and still be comfortable inside the ship. So that blew his mind. He had never seen anything like this before. And thank God he had his camera. He was so happy, and they wanted him to take photographs of the ship. You can go on to the next one.
All right. I'll have to check my, I know they didn't load as I had hoped, but let's see. Okay. Close
Yes.
up. Yep. It's a close up. All right. Let's see. Replace, edit, studio. Here we go. Oh, Jesse is, we have a guest.
She wants to be part of the fun.
He is. Yes, we have our guest. He just went to bed. All right, here it is.
Okay.
This is something to crow about, I would say. Yeah.
It is. It is. This craft, again, this is a blow up of it. It's a close up. You could see the vents around the side. The vents are part of the propulsion system. And what it does is when they're in the atmosphere of a planet, when they're in the atmosphere of a planet, they can open those ports and use it as a propulsion system. When they're flying through space, those vents are closed. And he said that in the bottom of this, and if you blew it up even larger, Andrea, there's a small circle there. It's hermetically sealed, and it's an opening to go. It's an opening to go into the ship.
Okay. Yeah.
Now the ship is rotating, but it looks like it's standing still. But the upper portion of it is rotating. It's rotating in a clockwise momentum. So you can go on to the next one.
All right. Aha. See, there's something something of interest here. There it is. What is that one I just had? No, I think it was this one, actually. I think this is the next. Yep, I think it is. Let me see.
Okay, that's part of a different series. Go back to the one you had before that.
Okay. The one before would be that
The
would be
one,
the,
the one that's close up.
that was the next picture in the series, but there's no one before that. This would be the next one.
No, the
that's-
one that we just had, the close up that I
The
told you was rotating.
Yep. Okay. Remove from studio. Here it is. All right. Nope. There. There.
Okay. When the craft landed, they did not want him to take a photograph of it landing,
Oh,
but he said when it landed, the center part that was hermetically sealed, an opening opened up, and 7 beings came out. It was 4 men and 3 women, and he said they were wearing one-piece suits, and he said they looked to be the most perfect examples of humans that you could ever imagine. No imperfections whatsoever in their skin or their hair or their hands or anything like that. And they told him that they were from Coma, Berenices, which is a constellation. It's near the constellation Leo in the zodiac, and it's 29 light years from Earth. And he told Paul that they had been monitoring him for a while, and that he had agreed to work with them. And basically, they had referred to him working with them before he incarnated. And he didn't know anything about reincarnation or anything like that. But they told him they would be sharing information with him. They brought him on board the ship, and they said that this was a smaller craft that was part of a much larger mothership. And they said that they had been monitoring the Earth for a long period of time. They had the ability of being able to defy radar, but if they wanted to be seen on radar, they could make themselves visible. And he said that our galaxy was like a grain of sand on an immense beach that represented galaxies all around the universe. And he said they were filled and populated with individuals. And he said to him that they were here on a mission of helping to uplift mankind, their consciousness and their awareness, to letting them know that we're a part of a larger cosmic family. And he wanted him to take photographs of the ships. And he never publicly discussed these things. He took the photos and he shared the information privately. But over time, the information started to leak out. So you can go on to the next photograph.
Okay.
I have a question, Frank. Did they come out of the center of the middle of that craft?
Yes,
At the bottom?
yes. There's a circular area that's hermetically sealed.
Yes.
And he said it opened up, and there were actually pedestals that came down as well that it could
Yep.
alight on and land
That's
on.
what I was seeing. Yep. That's cool.
And he said that the first being that he met in 1953, he said he was at least 7 feet tall. When he met these beings in 1863, they were between 7 to 9 feet tall.
So the inside of the craft must have been very tall.
It was huge, yes. And he said inside of it, he said there was a green light, and he said there was a slight beeping sound. And he said the flashing of the green light and the beeping sound seemed to be emanating from the metal itself. And they talked about that they had tremendous advances in technology that they were looking to share and be more open with humans when humans were ready for it. And he said they were so benevolent and so affectionate in their caring for him and for Earth, and said that a lot of them were already working down here and interacting with us, but they wanted us to be aware of them at some point in the future where we're less warlike, and that we could be openly interacting with them and treat them as friends and family members. This was another photograph he took in 1965. He took a series of photographs showing different kinds of ships that they had. If you have any more that look like this, Andrea, let me know.
I do, a bunch.
Okay.
Want me to keep going?
Go ahead.
All right, let's see. Of course, I can't see it. I can't see with my glasses. I can't see without. Remove this. Okay. There it is. There. There's like 4 steps to get a picture up on.
Okay.
Are you doing it on your phone?
No. Oh, God. No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Because it was like that when I used to have to do it on my phone.
This is kind of neat. No,
Your laptop?
Yeah, I have them all.
Okay. That one that you showed previously, this is part of that sequence. And again, it showed that it could be on its side, and the people inside were not affected by the gravity of Earth. They could actually defy gravity and be, standing up or sitting down without any discomfort. And that really blew Paul's mind that they had the ability to be able to defy gravity. Okay. You can go on to the next one.
Yep. Yeah, I thought that was a neat side picture.
It really is. Yeah, two side photographs of different types of craft.
Yes. There's some different. Okay, here we go. That was this one.
If you could, Andrea, if you could maybe bring up the series where it's over near his truck.
Yep.
Can you bring up that series? I think there's like 5.
Here it is. Yeah. Yeah. I like that old truck.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a truck that they gave him to use survey work along the riverbeds and along the bridges and roads to see if they need any repair. And this photograph and the other ones, the first three you showed, the first three you shared, a friend of mine, his name is Gabriel Green. He was a professional photographer and he worked for MGM Studios. When I was living in California, I would visit his home out in the Upper Valley. He was taking all the photographs of the UFO conventions at Giant Rock, and he took these photographs to one of the studios at MGM where he worked, and he blew them up to 30 by 50 to see if there was any signs of strings or lines or that could model. And he found no area of deception in any of these photographs. And he said, Frank, the way he looked at them, the way he analyzed them, he used different types of contrasting, and he said he saw no apparent gamesmanship in these photos whatsoever. And can you imagine seeing photos in 30 inches by 50 inches?
Yeah.
It's really wild. It's really wild.
I mean, I think it's just so pivotal to bring forward some of these old contactee archival footage, photographs, and film, because these things are legit.
And they're so clear, too.
They're
not.
They really, in this, if it was enlarged, where the truck bed is, there's a tree in the background and a small bush by it. He said that the craft emanated a laser beam that caused that bush to catch fire, and then it shot another laser beam out and put it out. And he said it was like a burning bush type of experience, and it was phenomenal. And he said it was extinguished as quickly as it was started.
Yeah, I think he also mentioned that some of the bushes or trees were growing.
Yeah. And some of them were repelled by the energy field of, some of the branches were repelled by the energy field of the craft that was the craft was generating.
Yeah. Yeah. I got some more truck ones. Let me pull these up. Let's see. Yeah, that's how you know that it's legit. I mean,
yes. He wanted to purposely have his truck in the photo so people could see a comparison to size.
Yeah. Let's see some.
Yeah, those pictures are so clear. It's amazing.
And yet some of the UFO researchers said that he falsified them by having a model and throwing the model up in the air with one hand and taking photos while it was still in the air.
There's no
that
way.
can't be really.
How would he throw that in the air and then with a still camera take a picture and have it not moving?
Yes. Wendell Stevens, who interviewed him, said that he tried using a model of some of these shapes of the craft, and he said he destroyed the model by throwing them up in the air and trying to capture a photo of them. And these are all stable. Look how stable that is.
Well, you would see it would be all blurry.
Yeah, of course, because it's moving. And these are just standing still so he could take the photographs.
And it's so
yet some UFO researchers said that they were made up.
You know, a lot of people are compromised by, you know, and I think Paul's house was burned down actually as well.
Yes, his trailer was, and he went into seclusion, but continued to interact with the visitors until 1982. And they gave him over 800 pages of notes that his wife Eunice still has not released. I don't know whether or not the visitors told her not to release it yet, because mankind may not be ready, but he has other photographs he had taken that has and 800 pages of notes. And I guess it's similar to the Billy Meyer experience. But
that's what I was going to
basically
say.
released everything.
This really reminds me a lot of the Billy Meyer photos. A lot of these are similar.
For sure.
But it's a whole other group of star visitors.
Yeah.
Did Semyasi say she knew this group of visitors, Andrea?
I didn't ask her.
Okay.
So no, they didn't, like Ika didn't know or anything. They're not Pleiadian, so I don't know. So Semyasi verified when I was talking to Rob actually, because Rob wanted to talk to Semyasi, and she immediately began talking about Billy Meyer and her work with him.
Good. Do not go to the drone ones yet, where the drone's coming down to land. Use the other ones in the with the truck. Let's display those.
Oh, drones, gotcha. Let's say remove. All right. There's, they need to streamline their photo method. Click here, sign there. All right, there we go. So this is the one we didn't see. This one. Here it is. Yeah, and there's no way those things they're sharp. The image is
They
sharp.
really are. They're really crisp.
Yeah, how would you throw something in those days? I mean, we're not talking
Yes.
CGI. We're not talking any ability whatsoever to manipulate photographs in a way that was be undetectable in those days.
Well, they tried to say use the computer to enhance them. He had no computer. He didn't have any of
There
that.
were no computers back then, not like this.
Nobody had a computer in 72. It's like, what? It's just.
Well, this was actually, these are in 65. These are still in 65.
Who
Right.
had a computer in 65?
He said that the star visitors could speak to him in English, in Spanish perfectly, other Earth languages, and he said they communicated with him telepathically. And he said, yet when they spoke amongst themselves in their own native language, he said it sounded like a combination of both Hebrew and Native American Indian.
Yeah, I see. Linda and I were talking about that with Tommy and some of the other languages.
Yeah.
The Kurendai.
Yeah.
Yes.
We said it almost sounded like Latin, like Kurendai language sounded like Latin.
Mhm.
Yes.
It was a combination of French and Latin. It was really neat.
Yeah.
What's really amazing about these photos, Andrea and Linda, is if people had the opportunity to enlarge them, they do not pixel.
Right. Oh, I think we lost Frank. Froze a bit there. We lost Frank. Oh no. He'll be back. Let's see. He
Is he
froze.
there?
He froze.
He's frozen.
Yep.
Ooh.
This happened. I don't know if anybody asked a question. Now's the time to kind of see if. Oh, we're a serious tiger. Oh, a tiger star. As a hobbyist photographer, it's really because you guys. The only reason I'm reading them is because our guests can't see the comments.
We can't see them. No.
No.
Oh, Jean's here. Hello. Oh, Frank is back. So Tiger Star asks, says, as a hobbyist photographer, it's really difficult to take pictures of moving objects. Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. I'm a trained photographer. Even with both hands on the camera, butterflies are the most. Oh yeah. There's no freaking way. Frank it up. Frank. Oh yeah, Jeff. Frank it out of the rope. We did. We end. Jane's here. Awesome. Yeah. No, you can't. There's no way with a click camera you could fake that.
And these vehicles were stable. They allowed him to photograph them, so they stood still.
Yes. Yeah. But you can also see when in Billy Meyer's photographs, I mean the videos of the craft, like that is actually what it will do. It will do like a leaf thing. And it looks fake, but that's actually what they do. So
that's right. Yes.
Yeah. I don't know if I have any more. Let me see if I get any more. Of these.
Yeah, there should be a couple more with the truck.
Truck pictures. Okay. Here we go. Image. Okay. Now my computer is slow. Okay. So that one, this one. Nope. Here's another one. I don't know if this is a truck or his house. It's hard to tell. I'm going to pull it up anyway. Let's see what it says.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
That's his truck. That's his truck. Yes. Yep. And again, they showed him like 4 different designs of craft that they're using to come from Coma Berenices to Earth. And they wanted him to photograph them so he would see that the visitors are here and they've been coming here for a long period of time.
Oh, yeah.
And I think I mentioned to you, Coma Berenices is from where they're coming from is like 30 light years away. And of course, it doesn't take that long for them to come here.
Right. He also mentioned too, Paul Villa mentioned that before they came, he would be giving a telepathic, okay, we're going to be, heads up.
Yes.
Hey, we're going to
let him know they were coming. Yes. You're absolutely right.
That compel, you feel that compel in the telepath. Yeah.
Yes.
Which is critical for a lot of our viewers who are in contact and are learning how to navigate the conversation so that you understand when you're being compelled, when you're hearing different songs or when they're trying to come in and give you a message. So,
yes.
All these guys talk about the same thing. So, let's see if there's any more truck photos. Remove. Delete. All right, let's see. All right, here we go. Oh, truck 1, truck 4. We saw that one. We saw this one. I think that might be. Oh, another one. Doo-doo. This is a fun one.
Yeah, isn't that nice? That's a great photograph, isn't it?
Easy, look at that. I mean, it's so crisp. I mean, there's no way.
Yep. Yeah.
There's no. Yeah. It's so funny. Everybody's looking for proof of UFOs and pictures of UFOs and videos. And like back in the day, we've got bugger loads of them.
Yes, tremendous amounts. And again, he never publicly spoke about this. However, it started to get around that he was in contact with star visitors and had taken photographs. And one night after work, he stopped in a tavern to get something. And the guy inside the tavern said to him, "You're the guy who took photographs of the saucers." And he went over and he punched him and knocked him on the floor. And Paul started to go into like a state of hibernation where he would withdraw from people. And he had experiences with others that were saying he was trying to make money off this. He never sold these photos. He gave them out freely to people and spoke positively regarding the star visitors and how they wanted to interact with us as friends.
Well, and that's what people have to be aware of, because other people like Billy Meyer and some of the old contactees, Adamski, not so much Menger, but the time he did, they were blacklisted and sort of scapegoated, and a lot of even some of the photos that were fakes that were attributed to them were not theirs. They actually were the CIA and some of the other.
Yes.
So they would launch campaigns to slander.
They would try to discredit him.
Absolutely, yeah. And as Frank said, yeah, Paul Villa never made money off these ever.
And if you'll notice in this photograph, see the shadow of the ship on the left side of the hood of the left side of the quarter panel of the truck.
Yep.
And some of the other ones, you'll see shadows too of them on the ground, and that's so hard to falsify.
Right. I mean, it's just absurd. Yes, it's but again, it's part of the narrative to silence all this stuff.
Yes. So, Andrea, if you could start bringing up the ones of the small drone as it's coming into land.
Small drone. Let's find that.
There should be a couple of them where they come into sight and are maybe about 15 feet off the ground.
So these are. I got some pictures of the craft landing too, which are pretty cool. Little feet.
Okay, save them for the last. Yes, save them for the last.
The goodies. Let me see about the drones. All right, let me see. I think there was one.
It should have titles too. Remote controlled drone.
Unless those didn't load. No, I don't have drone pictures, sadly.
Wow.
19 that came through, Frank, are just the graph pictures.
So you don't have any drone, remote controlled drone. Wow.
Were they like silver bullet? I mean, to me, it seems like this would be more.
They're smaller. They're like 14 inches in diameter. No, not that.
But it would be similar to that. Yeah, the drone
much smaller.
The drone footage didn't load.
Which one do you show that has the legs? The legs on the ground.
Just going back over my stuff. Yeah, no, there's no drones here, just craft.
Wow, because there's probably about 5 or 6 photos of the drone coming in to land, and you can see the shadow on the ground as it's descending down.
That'll be a plan B. Yeah, I don't have any drone footage. No, the photos didn't load.
And what about the one where it's actually on the ground? Do you have that one where it's actually on the ground?
The ones with it landing, and here it is towards the end. Yep, the little legs are so funny. Here it is. They look so fake with the legs. I love that. There it is.
Yeah. Oh, wow. The legs came out from underneath the craft. Again, there was no apparent opening, and he said he could see them extend down. And this craft this drone's like 14 inches in diameter, and it's maybe about 30 inches off the ground.
Gene asked, have these craft been modernized in our time? Gene, I'm not sure what your question is.
I don't know if they've been back engineered. But see the shadow on the ground? You know how hard it is to duplicate that?
Oh, yeah. It would have to be a model, a fake model. It'd be.
Yes.
But since he never made any money off it, or why would he go through all the trouble?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know, it's just just what he's been through. You know, having his
I mean, all he was ridiculed. So why would you want to do it?
Exactly.
There's no incentive to do it.
No. And you can always tell the people who do fake stuff, because there's been some fakers.
Yeah.
It's always like a 1-shot thing or a 2-shot thing. And then,
Right.
and they sought publicity, but this guy never saw publicity or anything.
No.
No, not at all. He just wanted to share openly and in a caring way. And people would ridicule him, saying he was making that up and he was looking for notoriety, and he wasn't at all.
No. So we have questions for our viewers now. So, Jean, this is what she asked. If I look to see a craft, would they look like these photos of the Berenices ones? Yes. I saw a Pleiadian scout up close. It looked like this, something like this. No teapot thing on top. Like, so you take off the teapot section.
Yes.
Silver like that, and it was flying next, very, very close. And it was silver like that. So yeah, I would imagine they haven't changed their design. Most of these guys don't change it. I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So,
Andrea, the diversity of the craft from the different star visitors is really extensive.
It's crazy. It's crazy. We have another
like the different models of the cars that we have.
Yeah.
You know, we don't all drive the same car.
Yep.
Yep. We have a question here. So it seems like UFOs in the past were often metallic, while more recent sightings tend to be light-based or orb-like. I wonder if they're well. So I mean, and Linda can answer that. If they're in warp, you're going to see that it's going to look lit up.
Mm-hmm.
You see colors change or anything. So Linda, do you want to answer this one? Well, so this person.
I couldn't hear the question. I'm sorry.
Yep. More recent. So it seems like UFOs in the past were often metallic. Well, they're not like they're what do they call it? It's a composite.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not metal in what we would think of as metal. They're like a memory metal. It's a whole different kind of like
right, the material, a metamaterial.
Yeah, it's a metamaterial, but it's sandwiched.
Right. There's no seams. There's no bolts. There's nothing that would indicate that it's man-made in any way. That it's totally seamless.
No,
and smooth.
Each group or each race or each species, they have their own metal that they use to produce the skin on the craft, and different craft have different. They're all different. So while more recent, okay. So here's a question again. It seems like UFOs in the past were often metallic, while more recent sightings tend to be light-based or orb-like. I wonder if they've evolved somehow. So I'll throw that out to you guys.
Well, first of all, these craft are organic. Some people have said that they have seen craft, and when they were invited to go inside, it seemed much larger on the inside than it looked like on the outside. So these craft have the ability of being able to accommodate their size for whatever their need is. I also want to say this to you. Another contactee from White Sands, New Mexico, his name was Dan Fry, and he worked at the White Sands Missile Base, and he had a contact with visitors that look like us. And he came up to a craft that was similar looking to this drone, but it was probably about 25 feet in diameter. And when he walked over to it, he asked if he could touch it, and they said yes. And he said to the outside, to the eye, it looked smooth. But when he ran his hand over the surface, he said it felt like millions of ball bearings. But it didn't look like ball bearings, but he said it felt that way.
Oh, yeah. It depends, again, the level of craftsmanship and the
star system that they're from.
It's so different. I mean,
yeah.
You're going Arcturian. Oh my God,
They're the types of materials because it's whatever they're working with.
Oh,
yeah. Because just like we have different materials on our planet, they have different materials on theirs. So it's whatever material they're working with is what they use to create their craft.
Right.
And Frank's right. They're conscious. They're conscious craft.
Oh yeah.
Consciousness, yes. Yeah. And there's different types of propulsion systems. Some of them use anti-gravity. Some of them, the contactee said that the center part of the craft, they could create the gravitational center of where it is that they want to go. Like if they're on Saturn and they want to go to Earth, they duplicate the gravity frequency for Earth, and it repels them from Saturn and it pulls them to Earth. And they could do vice versa. It's really amazing. And of course, they have thought propulsion. There's many, many different types of propulsion.
Yes.
Yeah. Somebody said I saw a 6-foot diameter orb some time ago that was an etheric blue, and the skin had the sheen of shark skin. Yeah.
I want to share this with you. I want to read this to you. This is a comment that the star visitors from Coma, Berenices had shared with Paul. Yeah. And they said they expressed a wish for Earth people to rise above their aggressive and warlike inclinations and live in harmony with the universal law of the great creator. as do the people of other worlds. They said that love is the most powerful force in the universe, and that if used correctly, can transform the hearts of men and make them into beings of light and peace. When the laws of love rule the minds of men on earth, then the people of other worlds will come in great numbers and share with us their advanced science, live among us openly, and live among us openly as friends and brothers in lasting peace, as they do so on many other worlds. So, I mean, there's a cosmic family waiting for us to reunite with them.
Yes. There's that's mentioned like in the Law of One. If you read those,
Yes.
that book, that they talk about that as well.
Yes.
Yeah. That's where we have to be. That's the level where humanity needs to be, and we're working on that right now by doing this.
Sure. And, you know, Paul said that he had been harassed so much that he wound up living in a secluded area where very few people knew where he lived with him and his wife. He had a phone number that he only shared with very, very close friends. And he continued to interact with the visitors. And if his wife Eunice releases the other photographs that he took from 1965 to 1982 and notes of the comments that the star visitor shared with him, it's going to be a revelation and a gift for all of us.
Yes.
Yeah. Well,
I really hope that happens.
Yes.
He must be elderly. How old is his wife? Well, she must be.
She's got to be in her 90s. It's easily. She's got to be
in her 90s. Yeah, because this is the time period of my mom.
Yes.
Wow. Well, she.
But you know, her mind could still be very, very sharp. And you know, after her husband Paul passed, the star visitors may have been interacting with her directly and asking her to purposely hold this back until humankind is ready for it.
Yeah. Right.
We have a few more comments. So we have AAO, one of our new friends here. It looked like an X would look like when it is totally, I don't know, I'm not sure, maybe a typo. That thin ring of light around the outside, I think it's just reflection. It was bigger than a football stadium. Yeah, it might just be. Their rooms had automatic triage in them, like immediate care inside of them, like a hospital room, but the room healed you to undo damage of whatever had been caused during the procedure. So I guess some of these ships do have that.
Yes.
So Renata says that sounds more like a prophecy than a hope. So that I hope so.
What sounds more like a prophecy?
Yeah, what you read, the message from the folks from that planet. Yeah.
Well, if you live amongst beings like that and you live that kind of lifestyle, when they look down upon us, they must shake their head that it's like dealing with a planet full of sunflowers.
Oh, I know I do. I know I do.
A planet full of 2-year-olds.
Yes. And they want to play with the matches. They wanted the technology, but they want to use it for warlike purposes instead of sharing and using it for the benefit of humanity.
Exactly.
Well, they're not going to use it for the benefit of humanity because they're not interested in the benefit of humanity. They're interested in the anti-benefit of humanity. So we have.
Andrea, what we could do is maybe I could forward those other photographs to you, and at some future point, you could show the other drone photos because they're really remarkable. They really are.
I can just do a short, podcast with the pictures on the drones, but
as it comes to Earth, it comes down almost like a falling leaf.
Yes, that's correct, and it looks super fake when you see it. But oops, wait a minute, where's the one?
That is so cool.
Let me pull this up. That would be Semyasi's her ship. That's
it just floats down like a leaf, and then the legs come out from under it, and then it lands.
Here it is landing, so I can bring up some of these. Where is it?
Does it spiral, or does it go
just
like this?
It flits like a leaf. Here it comes. It just goes like this.
Because sometimes leaves spiral. I've noticed that
no,
not like that.
More like
just moves from like left to right.
Yeah,
like that, like a floating.
It looks like it's on a string, and you're going like that. That's
like it's drifting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here it is coming down.
Yep. And he said it was so quiet, it made no sound whatsoever. And he used it for gathering like soil samples or plant samples. And he also talked too that they had this wand that they carried was like an aluminum tube. It was 8 inches long and about an inch in diameter, and they could use it to neutralize an animal that would show any aggression to them, and it would just paralyze them without hurting them. And he said they could use it towards a human as well too. If a human was showing negative aggression towards them, they could just paralyze them with this device too.
I could use one of those just in general. Just walking down the street.
Andrea, do you have any more of this series? You have any more of these?
Yeah, so we have any, let me see if any questions. Let's see. Oh, Renata says, I always picture them smacking their foreheads in disbelief. I know, I do daily. I don't watch TV anymore. I can't handle anything. I just live in a box. So we go, let's see. Screen. No. Yeah.
Well, one of the experiences that Howard Menger had when he was dealing with the Venusians and with Valiant Thor, he said that one of the star visitors, his wife was visiting with him, and his daughter was on board the craft. And his daughter wrote a letter to Howard, and Howard read it, and he still had that letter. He kept it. See it coming down? Is it coming down? See the shadow on the ground?
Of course, the shadow. Yeah. Yeah.
So this young girl wrote this letter to Howard and said, Mr. Menger, is it true that people on Earth hurt each other and show negative aggression towards one another? Why don't they live in peace and harmony? Why does humanity hurt each other with such open abandon? And he said the letter from that little girl touched his heart so deeply, because what she was saying is true. Normal people wouldn't do that. They wouldn't hurt others.
I know.
Yeah.
I remember when I was little, I would ask I thought when I was a little kid, I thought Earth was one big planet. Like, I mean, that there was no countries or anything. There was, but everybody lived together, happy. And I would ask my mom a lot of questions about, like, well, why is that? Why is that? Yeah.
Yeah. Why are there
Andrea,
different
you
countries?
should have one more in this series. It's a close-up of it coming down to Earth.
We have another, let's go questions here. I think the Men in Black film series used these photos. To copy the ships they portrayed in the films. Very possible. They made them.
Could be.
Yeah. Negative disclosure. Oh, Rocky Mountain said that one has an orb. Oh God, yeah. Look, Frank. Duh, derp. Rocky, look at, there's an orb above the ship.
Can you blow it up?
No, not on this screen.
Okay.
No, I'd have to do it on. I'd have to do it, on my computer. But if you look above the ship, yeah, I'm sure everybody can see it. There's an orb. So
yeah, you're right. Yes, there is. Yep.
There is. And thanks so much, Rocky Mountain and Bluetooth 3. These are our old friends. I saw something like that one night when I was 8. Awesome. And Renata, they have to. Okay. Yeah, they have to disclose stuff. Yeah. So I think that's all we had on these. Let me remove that. Okay.
Because if you could blow up the one where the shadow's on the ground, you could see the string, the blades of grass, and the shadow on the ship. It creates an additional shadow on the blades of grass. It's really remarkable. This guy didn't fake these photos. They're not fake.
No, let me see if I'm checking through my library here to see what else I got. All right. I don't remember this one, but let's pull this. All right. That should be downloaded. Okay. This one, here we go. Yeah, I can do just a separate podcast with, just with some pictures for people to look at closer. I can play with them a little bit better.
Yeah.
All right, here it is. This one we did not load. This is the new one. Let's see where it's at. Oh. Downloads. All right. See where it loaded. All right. Huh. It didn't load. Should load this. That's weird. I just downloaded it and it's not here. Let me pull this up. Sometimes these should be recents. Let me try. Huh. Nope. 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 There. Nope. I just downloaded it and it's not here.
What is it an image of, Andrea? 4
pictures together.
That's it. Yeah. I wanted you to see that. Yes.
Yeah. Where are they? Why are you not showing me? Okay. You should be there. Okay. File should be on downloads. Save. All right. Oh, okay. All right. Undo changes. It should be there. Let's see if we can get to pull up now. That is so strange.
Is there another way you could bring it up, Andrea?
Yeah, it should be. All right, let me try this again. I downloaded it. Download again. Okay, there should be 2 of them.
Because they were all uploaded the same way.
Yeah, let me move. Yeah, I mean, that should have been on my my section. I didn't. Let's see. Try it again. Let's see. Strange. Cutscene with technology. Yeah. So no, that's so weird. Let me see if it's on desktop. It shouldn't be on. No. I'm gonna just move it to my desktop and see if we can. Let's try that. Let me.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea.
Let me just. All right, let me get rid of this.
Andrew, can you ask your audience if any of the folks had ever seen any of these photos before?
Wait, where did she go? I don't see her anymore.
Yeah, she disappeared, and so did you.
No.
All I see is potentials.
Oh, there she is.
Here's Andrea.
We all disappeared.
You disappeared.
Yes, I did. All right, I don't even know how that happened. Anyway, okay, so there we go. Now,
Andrea, could you ask your audience if any of the folks had ever seen any of these photos before?
Oh yeah, has anybody seen these photos before? There you go. Downloads, desktop, walleye putts. Move. Okay. Now let's try that one. Okay, should be on desktop.
Yeah, I can't see the comments, or I would be
helping
you out with that.
One person. And
let me see if I can see it on YouTube.
Let's see. I'm waiting for that telepathic call. Yeah, somebody says I'm waiting. Bluetooth. Yeah, I'm waiting for the telepathic call to get on the ship. Yeah, I think we all are.
We're all being monitored right now.
Somebody said no, first time seeing. Oh yeah, the boys, they're watching. Yeah, we got some guys watching. Gene saw the landed one before. Stanley, some look familiar to me. Cannot remember from where. Yeah, some of these. Yeah, you've seen these before. Like as
now I can see.
Jeff says, yeah. A lot of people say it reminds me of Billy Meyer. Rocky Mountain says they look familiar. It seems like she did when she was little. And Raya says I have not seen them. So let me see. Now here we go. Image file. Try it again. All right. Let's see. Desktop. Okay.
Can you show it full screen on your desktop, Andrea?
It's so weird. It's like it won't load. It's there, but it's like it's in a file that won't be recognized. So strange.
Is it identified? Is there a title?
Nope.
Jane says, does anyone know the origin of the small black triangular spacecrafts that were operated telepathically? I have memories of operating one of these vessels as a small child under MK Ultra mind control.
Weird. All right.
They're ours. The small gray ones and small black ones are ours.
That's what I thought. But she says that they were operated telepathically.
Yes, that's true.
Okay. Yep. That would make sense that they were ours if she was under MK Ultra doing that. That makes sense.
An Air Force officer, his name is, it's right on the tip of my tongue. He was a colonel and he was a test pilot. And he told me there's a facility in the Panhandle of Florida that has a remote area of the base where pilots that are going to be involved in off-planet vehicles, they have to prove that they could control the craft using their mind and fly it to this area that's off in this wooded area behind this base. And he said he's seen the area because he was permitted to go back there. And he said they have to land it in a circle. And he said the only thing that would fit in there would be a circular craft. But he said they're tested to use mind control to fly it there. If they can't fly it there, they're not allowed to go into the off-planet program.
Well, here's one way to do it.
His name is Colonel Donald Ware. He shared that with me.
Yeah, personally. Colonel Ware.
Yeah.
That's in Elgin Air Force Base.
That's right. Elgin Air
That's
Force.
one of the largest Air Force bases that exist.
It sure is. It's huge.
All right. The only way I can do it's weird. It says it's a file that it's not recognizing. I don't know. Okay. But anyway, this is the picture. I'll do it this way. We'll do it the old-fashioned way.
Can you bring it up on your phone?
Yep, that's the only way I can do it. It's just
Wow.
understand it. I don't know why, but
That is really strange.
it's weird. Yeah. So that it's just the same one with the little feet coming out.
Yes. And
It's
a little yellowed because of age.
Yep. But that's yeah. I mean, it's so weird. I'm sitting there fighting with that and nothing.
But they were all uploaded the same way, Andrea.
I know, that's so weird. Why wouldn't it load that one?
Do you want me to send that to you separately so you can maybe include it?
It's in there. It's actually in the. I have it downloaded. It's actually
Okay.
And it won't. It's actually the StreamYard. Let me plug myself in here. That doesn't understand it, but that was it. It's
Okay.
Yeah. Is it a TR3B? Somebody asked. The black triangle.
Let me read some
Yes.
from
Yes, it is. You're right. You're right, Linda.
That's what I thought. Yep. That's what Stanley Christmas was asking. There's a bunch of comments in here. I was going to try to help you with that.
Not all black triangles are man-made. Some are extraterrestrial. The Chille use a triangle.
Right.
So you can tell the difference, though. I mean,
There's photographs of the TR3B on an aircraft carrier in the daytime, color photographs.
Yeah.
And that's definitely ours.
Yep. You can tell they don't look anything like the ET ones. The ET ones are like a cell phone. They're like just so.
Yeah. They're so contoured.
And the skin changes on. Oh yeah. Let's see. Okay. So TR3B. So at the heart of well, yep, semiconductors, particularly silicon. So the sincere sentinel of sentience. These materials are not merely incremental improvements over conventional silicon. They represent quantum leaps in the realm of power density, thermal management, and radiation resistance. And Wolfspeed's primary facilities in Durham, North Carolina, and its newly expanded Mohawk Valley fabrications in Marcy, New York, are more than semiconductor foundries. Surprise. Controlled atmospheres and multi-billion-dollar clean rooms produce not only commercial-grade wafers, but also covert batches destined for integration into black hardware. Of course. Surprise, surprise. Much of Wolfspeed's classified engagement with trans-medium craft and reverse engineering can be traced to specialized silicon carbide crystal growth technologies. Oh, no way. It's crazy. Using proprietary high-temperature chemical vapor deposition, HT-CVD systems. So Linda wrote in there, Elgin. Yep.
If I could share this with your audience, about a year ago, I did a conference in Philadelphia from MUFON, and I was talking about Billy Meyer and his incredible work with the Navy for off-planet solar warden. And when I was done, a woman came up. She had come down to the conference, and she said she had done work for the Navy in regards to metallurgy, and she shared this with me. It blew my mind. She said the Navy's in advance using metallurgy and new alloys 10,000 years in advance of what the public knows. 10,000 years. 10,000 years.
Yeah.
Just astounding.
But that's what's going to happen. I mean, the minute any of this tech comes out, I was just talking to a lady last night, and I said, the minute this tech comes out, everything is instantaneously obsolete, and we're 1,500 years ahead, like instantaneous.
Yep. Yes.
And that's why you're getting all the, and people want to, that's what's really impacting disclosure, because no one on earth that's in any kind of corporation, any kind of government that's being fed by these corporations, any kind of the industrial think tank, they don't want any of this stuff coming out.
But they have it. They have it.
They have it. They don't want you having it. They don't want anyone knowing about it because it's going to collapse everything. The medical industry, the fossil fuel industry, the chemical industry. I mean, every single thing we touch, the computer industry, everything that runs this planet is dead. It's gone in an instant. It's
transformed.
But they don't want that.
Well, they can only hold back the dawn so long, Andrew.
For a second, they're no, yeah. So, this fellow, Sincere says, yeah, the materials destination includes not only the U.S. military research centers such as Wright-Patterson, darn it, Air Force Base and the Naval Surface Warfare Center, Nevada and the East Coast. Their SiC materials, when doped with carefully controlled impurities such as nitrogen or vanadium, are used to fabricate power electronics modules capable of tolerating and manipulating field effects and plasma arcs. Boy, Dave would be interested in this.
Yeah, well, he probably already knows.
Well, I'm just saying, but I mean, Sincere Sentinel should join. I'll put his name. You probably are. You know Dave Rossi? Because like that's like
you should go on Generation Z and join that group, because
for sure
we talk about this stuff all the time.
I may have shared this with Linda or Andrea previously, but Dr. Jack Sarfati, who's a physicist out in San Francisco, he's got an incredible website. It's called stardrive.org. And he shared with me, he came up with the next form of propulsion we're going to be utilizing that's faster than light, and it's thought propulsion. He came up with 24 pages of equations linking metallurgy with awareness and consciousness. And he knows my interest in UFOs. Dr. Sarfati had his own experience with saucers and visitors. And I said, Dr. Sarfati, could this be the methodology that star visitors are utilizing to traverse vast distances to come here instantly? He said, absolutely. He said, we could back engineer what they have. We're not yet at the point where we could align atoms the way they do, but we're working on it.
Wait, dude. Sarfati is full of, they've already done it.
The thought propulsion has been achieved.
Sarfati's not respected by anyone in the field. He just makes stuff up. It's already been done. Sal Pais is by far. Everything that Sarfati says they're working on, it's already been done. It's way been done.
Oh, yeah, it's done. Sure, it's done. I believe it. It's done.
He's just, nobody in the field takes him seriously. Is the guy.
He's got a tremendous website with cutting edge technology.
It's not. It's the guys. No, nobody takes. And I never mention people's names, but yeah. And Linda knows from Dave, and it's just the guys. We don't know what the guy's even talking about. So yeah, Sal Pais used to go. That's the guy. So a lot of the
Sal Pais and Hal Puthoff.
Oh, Hal Puthoff, freaking rock star.
Yep.
Yeah. There's another guy too. I can't think of his name.
Those are the main two that I would.
Yeah. I can't think of the guy's name. Terrible. Yeah. So we have more. Here's some more stuff here. The Wolf Speed Cree Supply
Bob
Network.
Greenyer, maybe.
Bob, yes. Yep. Sources: critical precursors such as high purity silicon carbide powders and specialty gases like silane and propane from tightly regulated suppliers. Yeah. Including covertly aligned operations in the U.S., Japan, and Germany. Absolutely. Rock star. Hal Puthoff. Yep. Eric Davis. Yep. Rock star. I was just going to say that. We need Sincere Sentinel. Send me a message, dude. or lady. I'm not sure who you are. Because it says Sincere Sentinel. If you're what do they call it? Your pronoun. But yeah, so Sal, Bob, Salvador, yeah. We need to get that person on here. Sincere. Yeah. Oh, here we go. Let's say send me a message, dude. Yeah, lady. I'm not sure. Dude, it was a man. Picture of a man. I can see now. Now that I have my glasses on. As a gentleman, like some of these, particularly rare isotopic variants are processed in secure facilities located in the Carolinas, with shipments diverted through logistics hubs known to service defense contractors. Bingo, 100%. Spot on, rock and roll. Yeah. Oh, Victor's on now. Victor McKechnie. Hello, everyone. Awesome. Yeah. What the stuff they have is, Sal. Yeah, straight. I know. Yeah, send me a message. We got to get you on, or at least get you in touch with our other group with Dave. For sure. Yeah. We got to get Dave on too. So keep saying. What is it? Yep. Sal is all. Yeah, Sal is rock star. Yeah.
Dave was on Potential, so he should be on yours too.
Yeah, we got to get Dave. That would be great actually to have. If we could have Dave with a bunch of y'all together. So we have, let's see. So the Mohawk
It's
Valley.
so hard to get him because he's so busy.
Everybody, exactly.
His schedule changes constantly. So.
I know. So the Mohawk Valley facility has recently been outfitted with equipment that, while officially described as supporting next generation high power devices, I mean, they've been doing the Mind Drive stuff back in the 80s, and that was when it came out in the magazine. It was,
yes.
So I mean, they were doing that stuff. Well, the minute that it was around the era of Roswell, they were already playing around with the devices that would create the mind control of the machine, the brain computer interface.
Yes.
That stuff's been. Stanley Christmas. Okay. What happened to MH370? Well, Linda. Ashton.
I was just typing in here. Yeah, that's Ashton. That's Ashton Forbes. I almost wore my Forbes shirt, my Four Orbs t-shirt tonight, and I forgot. But yeah, I'm a huge fan of Ashton, and he really has that locked down. I mean, he's just really, he's on it. He's every single day. He's so obsessed.
It's Ashton. You want disclosure of this tech, teleportation, everything. Yeah. Ashton, it's not a stupid orb. It's not an egg. It's not some army twat coming out talking about Tic Tac. Ashton has like the actual teleportation of an airplane by the Navy. Yeah. I mean, it's like what the?
Ashton poked the bear. Still alive.
Yeah.
Yep.
So here's again. We have their internal R&D, research and development divisions, often compartmentalized and accessible only to personnel with dual clearances, corporate and government. Absolutely. That's nothing new. That ain't none. Employee scanning, tunneling, I mean, it's these guys it's got to stop. It's got to stop. So we have more. Femtosecond laser ablation techniques and quantum defect analysis to dissect and replicate non-terrestrial materials and recovered artifacts. Oh yeah. Gene saw the plane teleportation. Yeah.
That's incredible. That video of the plane teleporting. I mean, that is the most incredible thing that we have. That's disclosure. It's like so obvious. It's amazing.
It's everything. It's like it's everything right there in a nutshell.
Yes.
But that's why I say like the disclosure narrative is controlled.
Oh yeah. Because they don't want that out there.
No.
They just want to make him look like a fool. They really tried to discredit him. They tried to make it like it was a hoax, and like he doesn't, like all these people came on and tried, like he first offered money to people that, hey, prove me wrong. And they tried to actually prove him wrong, and he would discredit them. So he fights back, which is what I love about him. Yeah. He doesn't.
There were two things I forgot to mention to you that Paul Villa shared. One was that the star visitors from Coma Berenices actually had a facility on the moon, and they also took him to Mars, and at Phobos, they shared with him that Phobos, one of the moons of Mars, is completely artificial. It was man-made. It's hollowed out, and it was completely constructed artificially.
Yeah.
I think what's his name? The guy who worked with Hal Puthoff. I have a bunch of his books, and I can't think of his name right now. Ingo Swann.
Yes.
Ingo Swann remote viewed that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. About Phobos, I mean.
Yeah.
And that was shared with him in 1963. That was a long time ago.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That was a long time ago.
That's like even like what Howard Menger was talking about.
Sure. Yeah. Yes.
This is all old stuff that's just being buried for some. I find
it's been buried. Yep.
You don't see. You almost never see any of this stuff. Even the.
Well, we're digging it back up again, and we're putting it out there for everyone.
Yeah.
And
Stefan.
What's old is still new. What's old is still new.
That's it. I mean, that's And I say, ultimately it's interesting because the work that you're bringing forth again, Frank, these archival stories that were pivotal and massive. We haven't moved past this in 70 or 80 years.
One of the things I'll give you a tease. One of the things that I'm working on that's going to be coming forward is regarding 6-dimensional propulsion.
Okay.
6-dimensional propulsion. It's
All
in the
right.
works. It's in the works.
It's in the works.
Here, once I need to go back to the world of illusion, and it's a joy to be able to share with you this evening and with your wonderful audience. And thank you for the commentary and for the feedback. It's truly appreciated. And we're on the right course. We just have to stay positive. Don't let anything deter us from moving forward.
No.
Yes.
You keep everybody grounded, Frank, with your positivity, and it's so
You're
real.
very kind. You're very kind. Listen, our friends upstairs are more positive than we are down here.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. Of course, they're upstairs. It's easy to be positive upstairs.
Well, they do a lot of work down here, unbeknownst.
They do.
They have to come down to the slums sometime.
Thank you again for everything. Have a wonderful evening, and more yet to come.
More.
Thank you, Frank. Thanks for coming.
Thanks again.
It was great to see you again.
Have a safe weekend, everyone.
And don't be ashamed.
Okay.
You too.
See you upstairs.
Bye-bye.
See you upstairs.
There he goes. You can just click out, Frank. I can remove you and Terry. Oh, we got Linda gone. There it is. All right, guys. So we're gonna land this ship. I don't know if Linda's gonna come back on. We lost Linda, but I want to make sure we got everybody's chats all set. Yeah. So as Sincere says, yeah, with promising prototypes occasionally shipped to closed testing ranges. Yeah, DARPA. Oh, yeah, that's where Dave was working. And the Office of Naval Research. Yeah. Oh, Frank is the best. He is as sweet as they come, because that's it. So great, guys. Thanks so much for joining us this evening. And there's Jeff again, another great friend of Frank's. So awesome, guys. Oh, there's Linda's back. That's so cute. We're gonna call it quits. Very cool. All right, guys. Thanks so much. And as Frank always says, we'll see you upstairs.